Hello, welcome to My Startup TV. I'm your host, Major Sunil Shetty. My Startup TV is world's first and the only web television that is dedicated to entrepreneurship and startups. So if you want to hear stories from entrepreneurs and enablers, if you want to hear their inspiring thoughts, views, do subscribe to our channel and follow us every evening at 8 p.m. on live shows. Students, students have, for student, being a student is not easy, and especially in today's age and time, it is all about internship, finding the right internship. Also, students today, not like in my generation, today the students have to find ways to support their, student journey. And how do you do that? Finding internship is difficult. Finding work or part-time work is difficult. Today, I have with me my guest is Mythri Kumar, who is the founder of Timbuckdo. Uh, Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. Couldn't have asked for a better introduction. That's exactly what you summed up. Like, what do we do at Timbuckdo?
Well, before we start, this is what I want to bring up. When I was a student, forget about finding a job, even a part time, as you call gig hub, and that's what you guys do, right? You're a gig hub. You
Yeah.
you bring all these gig jobs together. Was unheard of, right? You couldn't do.
Yeah.
You couldn't go for a few hours work and earn your pocket money. So let's start by understanding what Timbuktu is all about.
Sure. So it's simple, like you said, right? Timbuckdo is a platform dedicated only for students to find part-time job, which brings them monetary rewards. We are very clear. We deal with only students. We help them find part-time jobs that helps them earn money, basically. So no, I mean, we don't want them to just work for experience. We don't want them to just work for exposure. That's the byproduct of any engagement today, right? But money, I mean, like you opened your sentence, right? It was unheard of when even when I was in college, it was very unorganized, right? Like I'm talking about 12 years back. But for me, that day, financial independence was bunking Friday first class, watching that Friday first day for show of any movie, and eating that one plate of chaat was my financial independence. But today, for this generation, the definition of financial independence is large. Thanks to booming fintech, every student today invests 100 rupees in one of these, like Zomato kind of a situation and call themselves a retail trader. So the definition of financial independence is widened, but the avenues to earn money are still rigid. There is a need of going on a date today, the need of having that extra burger, the need of going to the new coffee joint open. There is the definition of all of these things have changed. But if at all we ask them to do the same traditional internship, that's where the issues we identified in the market. That's when Timbukdo came into existence. So yeah, it's a safe place for students to find their first part-time job or keep working while they're in their universities.
So if you could help students understand how do you and how do they get enrolled? How do they go
Sure.
about boosting themselves? Is there a preference that I could ask for the type of jobs I want to do, the hours I want to do? If you can help them understand that.
Sure. So it's easy way. So there is an app for, or even a web login for students. Sign up. We don't ask for any of the CVs, but we give them certain fields where they can fill details about them. For example, where are they studying? What are they studying? What are their interests apart from academics? Do they have any specific skill set? Like, do you know like photography? Are you good at coding? Any skill, or if they don't have a specific skill, even conversation or talking is a skill that they're most welcome to. So the first thing is we don't ask for CV. The second is we make sure we do a KYC verification only from a perspective that we to know that you're in a legal age to do the job, because we don't want them to underage people to come and not to dilute the thing. The third is we also give them an induction of do's and don'ts on our behavioral etiquettes, because first time job seekers, they don't know how to talk to an HR or any employer per se, right? So we do give them a basic do's and don'ts. So once they, and this is completely free. There is absolutely no money, no commission we charge. We truly believe in finding the right opportunity for students. So simple process, invest about 13 to 14 minutes to set up your profile, KYC, do this induction. Once you do that, the profile is set up. Later, what happens is, with every part-time job that is listed, it's like LinkedIn. Every job that is listed, you can go through the job description, you can go through the number of hours, the duration of it, what kind of skill set it is demanding, or no skill set. Skill is, why am I stressing on that? Is students usually mistake skill in align with academics. No, it can be anything. Kannada as your language, you're very good at reading and writing. You can, another language like French, or you're a photographer, or you're good at making makeup as a skill, or you're just good at talking. So anything, right? As an individual, you think you can deliver, basically. That's what you can go through it. If you find it is in align with your interest and profile, please go ahead and apply. If it is not in align, our tech itself prompts saying, hey, this job is not aligned with, would you still like to apply, kind of a thing. Now, there are three kinds of jobs that students can opt for. One, hourly based, mostly like events, right? Weekend may there is event, Saturday and Sunday there is a wedding, or there is a corporate event, they can work in those, which is hourly based. They're also project based. For example, I'm a coder, or I'm a logo designer, or I'm a content creator. I can take up project based. So somebody wants me to create a logo for them. That's a project based. I one time take it and deliver it. The third is there is a longer term engagement. For example, brands like Decathlon, Theo Brahma, they keep hiring a lot of retail store part timers, which is again 4 months, 5 months commitment. And all these brands do understand exam timing, assignments, and all of it. So they make it flexible when when students say that they have an exam, these brands do let them take that 1 month off, finish their exam, and resume back. So that's where Timbuckdo comes. Like the way we would do verification for college students, we also do a very strict background verification of the employer. No, even when individual is coming as a employer, right? The verification we do is very strict. The health of an individual has been checked. So that's where our tech comes in play. So yeah, anything that is not paid, anything that is legal in not nature, anything that is not in align with student interest, our tech rejects those jobs. And we also do a health check every 1 hour once. We do very strict sanitization of what kind of jobs gets created. So it is to make that. See, it is not a new concept. We are not reinventing the wheel here. Students taking a part-time job when they're in their universities is a very common practice in US, UK, Australia kind of countries, right? They do wait the table, they work in fuel station, they work in fire stations. So it is India is always known to adopt some progressive concepts from the West. So we are in that front line where we remain as an aggregator. We do the demand and supply matchmaking. So students or employees can be rest assured that they get a verified job or they get a verified candidate on our platform. I hope I answered that. You're on.
No, definitely. Thank you for that. I myself as a student in UK, did work as a student, took up part-time jobs. So when you talk about India, we are predominantly a monthly salary based, right?
Yes.
So how does it work for students? They get paid hourly, or is it they add up the number of hours get added up at the end of the month and they get paid per hour? How does that work, and how much a student can typically expect to earn from these jobs?
So again, going back, if it is project based, the moment the project ends, they also at time get advance. If the student profile is so good and employer is confident. Again, I want to clarify one thing. Timbuckdo will not take any commission in between. Employer will directly pay the candidates, right? So so we are an aggregator, we are a discovery platform where we are solving a couple of things like genuinity, do the background check or bring the right job in the right place. Also, we are now bringing the geotag, where, for example, Bangalore students will get job alerts of only on ground jobs that are listed in Bangalore. Work from home is a very different situation, but because it's tech, for us, handling even 10 lakh student, 10 crore student is not a challenge. Going back to the pay kind of a thing, if it is project based, by end of the project they get paid. If it is hourly based, by the end of the commitment. If it is monthly based, like any other job, they would pay you monthly. By end of the month they would calculate. I will also highlight that we encourage students to work at an average of 20 to 22 hours per week. Beyond this, we don't encourage employers to post job at all. So that way, there is a balance between studies, work, and everything. We don't encourage anything beyond 20 to 22 hours.
And they get paid every month, or is it on completion of certain hours or weekly? How does that work?
No, that, like I said, if at all it is logo designing, it's a project based, right? If you design the logo in one day and give it a 1 hour and give it, by end of the engagement, you get paid. If it is only month-long engagement, then by month end you will get paid. If it is, see, a lot of Bangalore Tech Summit recently had hired a lot of part-timers. By end of the event, they got paid. The same day, the same evening, they got settled. So
And how
it's
much
bit.
typical?
Oh, and an average per hour, students can earn between 100 and 120 rupees. So again, monthly, yeah. I would like to ask you a question. Take a wild guess. What is the oddest job that today's student can take on Timbuktu? Just take a wild guess.
Oh, wow. Well, I would say it's not a guess because we did some search.
Oh,
Probably taking your pet out for a walk.
yeah, a dog walker
Is that
can yes. Imagine being a dog
okay?
walker and you get paid
Uh-huh.
18,000 rupees a month. All you have to do is take dog
Oh,
5, 6 times for a walk.
oh, interesting. That's a good one. And especially, I think what I'm thinking here is, especially if you're a pet lover,
Yeah.
right? And you are staying away from your, like most of these big cities, metro cities,
Hmm.
students are, moving. They're probably staying in Delhi. They are from Delhi,
Yeah.
but taken up a position in, let's say Christ, right?
Yeah.
So for somebody like, they can also be part of that. Go take a pet, go out for a walk. So you're connecting with a pet if you're a pet lover. So
Yeah.
that's really good.
See,
Now,
also,
yeah, go.
I mean, it can open up various avenues. Who knows, a pet owner today is a startup founder. By just meeting him or her every day while you're taking pet for walk, you end up getting, an exposure to somebody who can definitely offer you a job, offer you funding. It can be anything. What I feel is, sir, I'll just take a moment to stress that I mean, we all choose our course in India today, even today. How did I study journalism? Because I had somebody influencing my decision. I had somebody in my family who did journalism, got placed in so and so TV, got such a package. So to me, I was influenced by somebody's choice, somebody's temporary success. And most of us, even today, most of the students do choose their academical courses by an influence or an example or peer pressure, whatever it is, right? None of them know what they're good at organically. Am I good at talking? Am I good? I came to Bangalore to do my civil service because my mom had an idea of me being a IAS officer, and I was prepared to do that. But when I came to Bangalore, I was a part timer myself. So when I started taking up these gigs, that's when I understood I'm a marketeer. What am I doing with civil service? It was an early discovery for me that who I am, what I enjoy. I think that helped me start my entrepreneur journey very early, or what am I doing? Like how am I doing today? I mean, I'm just saying because it helps you when you get that ground exposure, right? It will help you understand who you are, what are you good at organically. So that's a larger perspective. Money is always great.
Well, I definitely agree with that. So now coming to companies, how can
Hmm.
companies with you or connect with your platform and onboard themselves as somebody who's offering a job?
Yeah. So it's as simple as, you sign up with us, set up your account, again, do your KYC, set your company's profile with us and start listing. First job listing is anyway free. Post that you can choose some subscription depending on what kind of facilities you want our tech to solve for. For example, there's something called virtual assessment. You can set your own questionnaire, passing percentage. And again, AI will set it up for you. You just have to give prompts to our AI. So yeah, user experience level pay AI has been used very effectively. Being Microsoft partner, we have used AI effectively to make sure our users, get benefited through these tools. So yeah, once your job get listed, students of that area gets alert saying, for example, if you're hiring in Indranagar in Bangalore, so students within 6-7 kilometer radius will get an alert saying, again, if you're looking for a specific category, a lot of quick service restaurants reach out to Timbuckdo during, for example, India-Pakistan match. People are glued to TV. They're ordering from home. A lot of restaurants get too many orders. It's spike, right? It's basically spike. So to only cater to those spike hours or on-demand hours, a lot of QSR, quick service restaurants, hire through Timbuckdo. And for a student, work only in those few hours or few days of the month to earn money. So for employers, Timbuckdo is solving a on-demand hiring. Again, India being very season-driven market, right? From like quarter 2 is a very retail driven. There are a lot of festivals still up December. You will see all of this e-commerce giving all the $1 billion sales and all of those big billion days and Amazon, sales and all. So a lot of sellers on these portal will see the spike on those festival or what do you call during those festival season, right? So for that, you need somebody only to manage your inventory on those dates. Whenever, so you can hire. So it's a very plug and play. Again, imagine there is one of these home bakers. So she wants to just have a Instagram account, click nice picture of her cake. She just need this Instagram or any social media to be her catalog. If she or he goes to an agency, they'll end up paying 25-30,000 easily to an agency. But the same work, a student with a smartphone or a basic sense of Canva design can deliver it with 8-9,000 rupees today. Right. So it's a win-win. For an employer, you just have to sign up. It's the way you would use LinkedIn. Sign up, get verified, create your profile, and start listing the jobs. Everything, again, I would like to highlight that what we create is gig, right? It's not employment, it's a contract. So every time for a contract to be valid, an offer to be made and accepted. So every time we ask an employer, go create a contract, there's a legal there's the word contract is very legal and it is scary also. So all of it has been solved on Timbuckdo. If you like a candidate, click on offer, student gets an alert. The moment student accepts it, the offer letter gets exchanged or the contract letter get exchanged. In that way, Timbuckdo as an aggregator will always stand as an arbitrator if either of the parties default. If student has done some mistake, we will intervene and speak to student and solve it. If employer do so, we always have avenues to speak to employers and get the matter solved.
So that's really important because as My Startup TV, we have one of the 40% of our workforce is students.
Wow.
They are students, and we've been not named, but in the past we have used some of the platforms to offer internships, and it turned out in some cases it was quite a taxing because they would flood your box even though you've checked up tick mark all those boxes that you were looking for, but your inbox would be spammed with hundreds of
Absolutely.
students, and you would find interviewing them, talking to them, and then it becomes very difficult for a startup like ours, where the team is small, and then also to how do you filter them out? So if you could help us understand as an employer now, if I were to be on Timbuktu, how do I go about doing that part?
See, you are, I think, our brand ambassador. I'll have to declare it in this live show because you've been a part-timer yourself and you are working with students. You understand the pain point, right? This is exactly what we are solving for employers. See, I do understand you've come to hire in part-timers. We don't use word interns, so sorry. So we call ourselves a part-time. I'll tell you why, but going back to the point. So you've come to us with certain urgency, right? And you come to us with certain need. It's not that you have 3 months to interview some 10 rounds and you're hiring some C-class executive or even a basic entry level. This is a part-timer who will fill only specific need for a specific time, right? So our dashboard is built in such a way that every part-time opportunity you would post on our portal has its own dashboard. So so the moment you click on that job, you will get student, their basic details. Our AI will also tell you what is the percentage of the profile matching. Okay, if it is 67%, it is 80%, it is 100%, and it will also show you past ratings of these students in a similar gigs he or she is taken. So only then you can click on view profile. There is no email that will come and spam your folders. You will not find some 100 emails, right? It will all be in a dashboard. You get an alert saying so and so has applied or you've received so and so applications, but you will have to log into our dashboard, and dashboard has its own sub mini dashboard for the every job you create. And like I said, in one go, in one view, employer will be given those details which are required to even to go through that profile. We will not appreciate you wasting your time visiting 100 profiles. Our AI will prompt saying, boss, this is 50% matching, this is 60% matching, or this is 100%. So you decide, and there is a past work rating also. So those are like in flash. So you can just, okay, this sounds interesting, let me view. Only then we encourage you to speak to students or gig worker.
So do you also directly work with institutions, colleges, where, because that's the watering hole, right? Many students are
Yeah.
there. So do you go and onboard from there? How's the onboarding of students work, or finding students work?
So see, students are found only on two places today. One on Instagram or any of the social media. That's where 80% of their time. Another 20%, maybe 10% in college. Another 10% is in this coffee shops or any of those, addas around the colleges, like tea
Coming
shops
from
and sorry.
experience.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
said,
that's where. Sorry, your voice was breaking. I couldn't get what you said.
I said, is that coming from experience? 10% coffee shop and
Yes. That's where I was, right? I studied in Mount Carmel in Bangalore. So there is a Loafers Lane right opposite to my college. That's where most of my time then was spent. But yeah, yeah, it is so. So yeah, going back to question, we do use social media to our best fully. If you see, we have a very vibrant social media activities that goes on. We do, of course, meta ads and other things. But along with that, we also have partnerships with colleges. But we go as a very pre-placement or a gig partner. We don't go as a placement partners with colleges because, like I said, we are not an internship portal. Let me just clarify that. I'll tell you why. Because internship, by the definition of the word itself, it's in align with your curriculum. It's extension of one's curriculum still, right? If I'm a mechanical engineering student, I'll take up internship in Bosch or similar manufacturing companies. But what if I just want to work in those events, work as a barista, or work in those coffee shops and earn that money, for which me being mechanical engineer, me being a BSc graduation student doesn't even matter, right? So what we are, and most of the time internships also go unpaid, right? In the name of experience, well and good. But if you see, before starting Timbuckdo, honestly, we did thorough research. We spoke to thousands of students. Like when there is already internships, if you see any of the fantasy games today, apps or a betting apps, 26 to 27% of the users are students. And it breaks my heart when they get into debt. We get every day so many DMs that can you transfer 3,000 rupees? I got into debt by playing some online game. Now, it very clearly indicates when we ask them second question, okay, you have a problem, but why didn't you get into debt? What was so necessary for you to get into debt? They say, I have a requirement. I have a girlfriend. I have a partner who I want to take her. So, that you really can't ask them to cut their lifestyle any longer. And if there's when there is already internship, why is it not solving the problem? Because at the end of it, there is no definite monetary reward for this engagement, right? There is still a cost involved in me reaching that place of internship. We are very happy internship as a culture, but that's not our business model, and that's not what we offer. To employer also, very straightforward, we tell you will have to pay. This is a gig. This is a part-time job. They're coming there to deliver certain things, and that is why they're getting paid, right? So we are a part-time job portal for college students. And when we say this to colleges, honestly, few colleges are very broad-minded. They do understand. I love tier 2, tier 3 colleges because their teachers and lecturers still do have empathy. They still connect with students on a personal level. They know that these students are vegetable vendors, children, or one of the parents, unfortunate incidents in the family. There is a pressure on paying fees. So those are the colleges mostly welcome Timbuktu. They do understand need of the hour. But there are some colleges who are still not so open for this. They're like, oh my God, we collect few lakhs fees and we cannot promote working in baristas. But we insist colleges to look gig as not demean it by only looking at it as for a needy students kind of a thing, right? I can go on and give you an example. Few really good tier one colleges students, especially this kid was studying computer science in one of the premium engineering colleges. He took gig because of his own reasons. So he was working with one of these tea joints with us. And one day he reached out saying, Mythri, I need to connect with somebody from a management of this tea joint. I was like, what happened? Did they pay? I panicked actually. Why are you like reaching in an SOS? He's like, no, no, no. I have this amazing data that I would like to give it to the team. I said, go give it to the store manager. He's like, no, my store manager is a dumb guy. He doesn't understand. Can you connect me to with somebody who will make something out of the data that I have? I was like, chalo, we are a student first company. Let me do this, make this call. So this student has identified that ginger tea of particular size is being sold in large number from evening 4:30 to 6:30. That 2 hours may he figured out ginger tea of this size is being sold very regularly because he is observing this data standing behind the cash counter. So for him, this data he felt is very important. You will not believe that T Joint actually gave him an offer because it's called market fit only, right? The product market fit in the startup language or in a corporate language. So what did Tea Shop do? They offered a lot of like combos. If you buy ginger tea, I'll give you a bun maska free. Or if you buy a 100 ml, I'll give you 50 ml. So they figured out through the student that in this area, this product is doing good. So imagine that data that student that day has. He's learned inventory management. He's learned customer behavior. He learned how micromanaging is important in macro organization. I mean, it's brilliant learning, right? Which MBA college will give this on a ground reality? So that's what the gig brings. And I wish colleges realize that sooner or later.
No, definitely, I agree with you from personal experience that, as I said, while in UK, I did, I took up a gig work, and this was in B&Q. And I'm telling you, that is where I learned how inventory happens in a big warehouse, right?
Absolutely.
And how when I came back and set up my own business, I exactly knew in my, as I say, mind's eye, how the, inventory should look. So I mean, one should look at gig work as an experience, not necessarily. I mean, one definitely, as you said, it gives you money, it helps you with with pocket money, but also there is a definite experience component. So, as a organization, where all are you? I mean, are you able to provide these gig works across India, or only limited to metros, some tied to cities? If you could throw some light on that.
Sure. So, see, being a tech company, that's the best part of it, right? We can create a lot of remote jobs. So, today, Art Park, which is Indian Institute of Science Research Wing, is hiring a lot of language translators, and all of these are Northeast languages, and it's work from home. So, students who are sitting in Northeast can also take this job because they all have to do is hear to this audio file and convert into a document. And I think I can say this. I think they are doing it as part of Google Gemini AI tool. For that, Art Park is doing. And yeah, we have created jobs even in Jaipur, Lucknow. See, Bangalore, to hometown is our home ground. This way, Bombay is doing really good. Hyderabad, moderately okay. We are in all the metro cities. Like major metro cities. Along with that, we are also in tier two cities. A lot of like Decathlon as an organization was hiring in Shimoga, Mysore, and a couple of more such cities in Karnataka. So yeah, creation of job is very strong in cities like Bangalore, Bombay, Pune, Delhi, NCR. Students do a lot of time come up with work from home opportunities like from places like Jharkhand, Bihar, Varanasi. So for them, we are now looking at creating a lot of work from home opportunities like these, like the Art Park example I gave.
And you don't charge the students. How do you make your money?
Oh, employers do pay us a small fee as subscription because they're using the technology, right? Like I said, it is solving a couple of important issues, especially when it comes to gig hiring. The interesting fact here is, at the end of the day, Timbuckdo is building the community of students and it is giving you power of earning as a student. Of course, you're going to spend this money elsewhere. So what Timbuckdo has done from the day one is it also has its own marketplace, student discounted marketplace. So we welcome brands whose target group is in a line with students or Timbuckdo. They will list their deals or products with us, and they do offer a very significant student discount. So whenever a sale happens, we do make a small commission out of it. So that becomes another revenue model. We also have very strong network of campus ambassadors. Few brands use our campus ambassadors as their campus ambassador. So again, there we make some good amount of revenue. So yeah, revenue comes through the leveraging business basically. For now, that's how it is, and we don't intend to charge students any soon. So yeah.
So if you could share some, data as to how many students are there registered and how many companies are registered on your platform,
So we
for
have
benefit
1
of,
lakh. Sure.
yeah.
So we have 1 lakh plus students using our platform, and any given day, in fact, very recently we went viral and we saw some 12,500 downloads like in a day, and that's the kind of growth we are seeing. So any given day, we have 1 lakh plus active users using the platform. We have a 620 plus employers currently, and each employer is creating minimum about 10 to 12 positions. So that way this number keeps changing. As a brand collaboration, we have about 120 brands today offering student discounts. Now we will be more focusing on creating more jobs because we didn't expect that we would go viral and the acceptance would come this fast for us. Yeah, that's been the curve so far.
And what about the revenue that you're doing now at this point in
Mhm.
time, and and connected to that is funding. Have you raised any fund? Are you
Yeah.
looking to raise fund?
So which is, yeah, I think startup, I mean, once you raise fund, you're always in mood to raise more money. So we raised funds in the month of July last year, 2024, more of a seed round. We're already again in market to raise our pre-series. So seed we raised from overseas investors. We were very lucky and fortunate to get these two investors. One, Mr. Nandakishore Kalambi, who was a CEO of Dassault as a company. I mean, one of those concerns within the Dassault system, who also was very prominent face in SAP India. He's again based out of US, but the other name, Mr. Morton Mayer's son, he is a pretty big name. He is somebody who invested in Mark Cuban as his first investor, somebody who's very known in US startup ecosystem. He was also mentor for Michael Dell, who started Dell Systems eventually. He was himself was a CTO of General Motors. So big guy. But again, maybe because they are from US, they understand gig as a culture. They see it as part of their culture. They did invest. They did trust Timbuckdo, and associating with them was the best decision so far for Timbuckdo. Yeah, we are again in market in next 20 days again to raise our next round, because the traction what we have achieved in last 4 to 5 months has been very good. The curves are looking really good, and we have already received some organic uh, reach out from the investors. So yeah, hopefully we raise more money, more capital growth. See, I'll tell you why, because we are not fighting, but we are trying to widen the definition of internship, which is already a very strong culture here, right? For us to either expand the definition of internship or become a parallel line with the internship, and there is no culture. See, parents are still in that mindset. Oh my God, can I let my son work in a fuel station? How can my daughter be seen serving coffees? It's there is a lot of resistance from the parental side, which we figured out last 2 years. But today we are in a better position to crack those things. But for us to bring that culture as part-time will require some more capital, because it's a new culture in itself that Timbuckdo should establish of gig, student gig, right? So it will require more capital. Uh, did I miss you first part of the conversation on the revenue?
No,
I think, okay, great. Yeah, that's it. It is, yeah.
okay. So interesting bit. Why Timbuktu? The name.
Name? Take a wild guess. What does it mean? I
Well, I
always play this. Okay, you've done a research now. Okay, let me break it. So honestly, the whole journey of Timbuktu was not planned. When I started this company, luckily today I have the best co-founder on earth. Apoor has joined me a year back as a co-founder, right? He was with Swiggy earlier. Like his last job was with Swiggy. So when I was starting this back in 22 as a solo founder, I wanted a slang basically, which this generation, like, you know, can easily say, remember. So Timbuktu, where are you from? Are you from Timbuktu? It's a place in Africa. It's a lost city of gold or something like that. So I made that Timbuktu to a do. Tim is a person, it's a student, it's a noun. Buck is money. Do is like do the job. The smart way to do is Timbuktu. So it's catchy, I feel. It rhymes with like do as a go-to word. So yeah, that was the logic behind it. Honestly, this was very organic. If I tell you a story, how did we start? It's another a day episode, but it happened very organically. Nothing was planned. Yeah, so that's
would love to,
Timbuktu.
host you on that show to get how the whole ideation process started. What went. Also important because most of our viewers are in the age group of 18 to 25, which is a student community, and and many of them are aspiring to be entrepreneurs. So your journey as to how you came about doing this would be helpful. So, Maitri,
Sure.
thank you. Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
No, no, I said sure. I mean, there's no rocket science behind why we started. It's just that I was also student part-timer when I came to Bangalore, right? As to do my graduation. Was working myself in a lot of pizza shops and all of this big fat wedding that happens in Bangalore Palace, looking at the invitation. So whatever problems I faced back then was still there. Then I moved on in life, started working in various startups myself. And this is my fourth startup, been moderately successful maybe. So when I was a founder myself earlier as well, I was working with a lot of students, and I have a brother who was a student just passed out. So I used to see him struggle with money. So it came very, very organically that as a student, I had what all I had faced was still relevant. And then when I spoke to my brother, why is that internship not working? Why are you? He was working as a delivery executive, which came as a very shocking. And I had a fight with him. I'm like, oh, my ego was hurt. How can Mythri's brother, work as a delivery executive? Then he made me realize that. Yeah, उसको पैसा चाहिए and that to his hard-earned money for his own lifestyle. So which is not wrong, right? I mean, so that led to starting Timbuktu. Yeah, I think best decision so far I've made.
Great work, Maitri. I must say that. Thank you very much for being on our show, and we
Pleasure.
hope and we expect to host you again on some of our shows, especially panel discussion when we have our own startup community and startup challenges. Thank you very much for being on the show.
Thank you so much for having us, and your team is the most sweetest team, and would love to discuss startup anytime, students anytime. So yeah, thank you so much for the opportunity.
And the next thing I'm doing after this is become one of your vendors or firms that.
Hirer. Most welcome. Most welcome. Thank you so much. Very kind of you. Bye bye.